I can't wait for you to see the finished results of this beautiful Christmas project. This one is a layered one with lots of amazing techniques packed in. So I hope you'll hang out, watch it all come together, and get some inspiration. I'm Summer from hammondsnest.com, and if you've never caught one of my videos, one thing I really love to do is to teach every step I'm doing in the video. Break it down into small chunks so that you feel a little less intimidated about trying some of this stuff yourself, so you can make really pretty things for your home on a budget most of the time too. So hang out and let me tell you what I've got going. As you see here, I started off with a wood Christmas tree cutout. I got that from Dollar Tree. Also, an embossed plastic tile from Dollar Tree. These are great to have in your stash. You can do so many pretty things with them and give them some really layered paint finishes. And then a piece of cardstock paper out of a Christmas paper pack from Hobby Lobby. So you saw that I traced everything to give me the cutout of the tree, but the cardstock is only partially cut because I just had a particular place of the cardstock I wanted to show through the little peekaboo window thing that we did in the middle of the Christmas tree. I think it's super fun. So I just glued down all those layers and with a combination of Mod Podge and hot glue. And now it's time to start finishing it off with this beautiful paint color. Moss is a chalk paint by Waverly. So I ended up doing one coat, letting that dry, and then I put on a quick second coat and let that dry. And now this next part is a thrifted candlestick. This is completely optional. When you see the finished project, you'll know what I mean by that. But it is a stand that I made and cut a little slit in it with my craft table saw so that I could have a cool stand for my Christmas tree. So I did a couple coats, ended up doing 3 coats of Waverly plaster paint on this, doing a little distressing on it with sandpaper. And then once I had it to my liking there, I also pulled out some antique wax by Folk Art, and I'm just going to brush on the antique. It's kind of like antique glaze, and I just brushed it over the whole thing and wiped it back, and we'll set it to the side and let it dry, and we'll bring it back out here in a minute. Now let's get back to our Christmas tree. I'm taking some Mod Podge, which is a great sealer, as you know, and I want to go ahead and protect the green color that I painted the tree, and I'm going to go ahead and put it over the graphic in the center of our embossed tile there. And I'm going to let that dry. The reason I did this is because I want to use some more of the same antiquing glaze I used on the candlestick to go over the tile. This is going to help bring out the embossed design. This is going to give it that vintage age look that is my style. Again, completely optional. Whatever taste is yours, but this is just all the different layers I did to this piece to give it that unique finish. So you can see I'm wiping it back with a baby wipe, and you can see some of the shading and everything that created. We're not done yet. We're going to keep adding a few things. I've got Mod Podge and I've got ground cinnamon. If you have never tried this technique, it is beautiful. I have crafting cinnamon. I keep it in my studio, and depending on which project I'm doing, I will be either full coverage or I will do it in spots like this. I'm just wanting this embossed tile to kind of look like metal, really, and make it look like old metal. So I'm just doing it in a few random spots, as if, over time that you would have some rusty spots on like the vintage ceiling tiles, because that's what it's reminiscent of to me. And you can just see I put the Mod Podge, and then I sprinkled the cinnamon, and then Mod Podge back over those spots to seal them in, and they're going to turn a beautiful, beautiful color here in a minute when they are done drying. Taking some more antique wax, and we're going around that little window here to just kind of highlight that, and going around the edges of the Christmas tree as well, just creating lots of depth and dimension, and just a beautiful, like I said, all the layers really, really do matter. Just keep going until you get a desired look. And then I grabbed a little baby wipe and just came back around that Santa picture and softened where I had antiqued it. Set that to the side, let it dry. Here's another technique for you. This beautiful red stripe ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby was a little too bright for the antique finish that I was achieving in this particular project. So I used the same antiquing glaze with a little mister bottle, get my ribbon wet, and I basically kind of gave it that tea stain look. And you saw I just kind of brush that on and get it saturated the way I want, wipe it back with a paper towel, and set that to the side and dry too. Now, I don't happen to have any rusty bells in my stash that are little bitty, so here's a fun little quick thing in case you find yourself in the same thing, same situation. You can just grab that Mod Podge and cinnamon and do that same thing to some rusty bells. So look how beautiful our project is turning out. I am loving this one. I'm actually at a later time going to finish the other side too, in case you're wondering about that, because I want it to be reversible. Maybe you can stay tuned for that and you'll see that. So my ribbon is dry. I'm going to just do a simple kind of shoestring looking bow there. You saw how I folded that. I'm going to clean up the ends with a little angle cut, and then I'm going to hot glue to the base of the tree here. And then I'm going to have fun adding a few more embellishments, this holly berry, greenery, and then we'll bring in those rusty bells. Wait till you see the final shot on these, how good that little cinnamon and Mod Podge stuff does on those bells, in case you're needing some rusty bells yourself and you don't have any in your stash. So layering my greenery up at top and finishing off with that last little red berry. I could not love this more. I hope that you want to give something like this a try. As you can see here, I told you that base is totally optional. You could use this as a wreath attachment, just as a little leaner. You don't have to put it on the candlestick, but I love it like this. I'm going to really love it throughout the Christmas season in my home. Tell me what your favorite part is of today's video, and if you're ready to try something similar too. Thank you for hanging out with me. Again, go check out hammondsnest.com for even more crafty inspiration. Have a great day. Bye-bye.